We're going to get another female pilot. Woo! Yeah. We're going to welcome Diana Barbosa. Woo! Let's give it up for all the sausage we've seen tonight. So I'm Diana Barbosa, and after a 26-year relationship, 22 of those happily married, I ended up being single again. Yeah, I know, yeah. If any of you are doing math, I got married very young. But actually, we went to high school together. He was my high school sweetheart. We got married very early at 22, and we just grew apart, let's just say, because my son is here, and I don't want to disparage his father in front of him. But it was scary, right? I was 44 at the time, and I was kind of thinking, like, I would like to date again. I mean, I've never dated an adult before, right? We've been together since we were 18. But I thought, I'm over 40. I have 3 kids. I have debt. I put on a few pounds. Let's be polite, right? Am I even attractive anymore? But if there's any women in the room who are thinking, in the same way, it turns out that men just want to be invited to the party. They're not really all that fussed about the decorations. So you can, go ahead and follow your dreams the way I did. But another thing that was super scary was that, as I mentioned, I would be having to date strangers. Even though I grew up in Toronto, I went to a very small school. There were 300 of us all together. It's crazy. My entire friend group, 6 of us, all married people we went to high school with. Yeah, a little incestuous, but it created some good times. And with that, I realized dating a man who's over 40, he's had this whole life before me. He could be making shit up, right? I had to go on the dating apps. I don't meet people in real life. Like, comedy is all full of young guys, right? The oldest person here was like 35. Yeah, not my demographic, really. And then I was like, if I'm going to be dating, what am I going to really, bringing to the table? So I got over that, like I mentioned. Then I started hearing these stories about how scary it is actually out there. Things like being catfished, which happened to me, but that's a whole other story. Women being threatened for turning them down, being roofied. Like, that's all very scary stuff. And I worry about, like, young women. You mentioned your beautiful girlfriend, 5'4", really cute. Anybody could just whisk her away one night if she's walking alone. I've never really worried about that. Abduction is not in the cards for me. And I've given that a lot of thought, and I've actually come to the realization that if that did happen to me, this could be the man of my dreams. So I want to take you on this journey with me, okay? So let's say, hypothetically, I'm walking down Lakeshore one night, and suddenly, a man comes up from behind me, whisks me up, throws me over his shoulder, and starts running. Okay, so he obviously lifts weights, right? He's probably a non-smoker because he's got to have good cardio health. He is running towards a vehicle, so he has a car and a license. Ladies, if that's a given for the age range that I'm looking at, you've never been on a dating app. Okay? Now, I did get the question once, well, what if he's got somebody in the car waiting as well? I'm like, so he's got a driver, right? So that we're doing really well here. Okay, now the other thing is that when you think abduction and a vehicle, what do you think? Creepy white van, right? That's the classic. All I'm thinking is a spacious vehicle where we can put the boxes when I move in with him, right? And now he's gonna need to take me somewhere. And again, what's the stereotype? Where is he gonna take me? Cabin in the woods, maybe? Or is it a cottage in Muskoka? Right? None of this is bad. And now, what I did fail to say is that all this is great, but you know what he also did, ladies? He made a plan. He set a goal. He probably didn't get his mom or anybody else to help him with it. And he executed on that plan. this is that sometimes my comedy is seen as man-hating, and it really isn't, because trust me, I know that I'm a big problem in these relationships. So the way I see this, and when I step away from the fantasy of being abducted and I put it into reality, I know that what I would probably do is, as I'm bouncing up and down on him, as he's running. Let's get back. Remember, my son's in the audience. As he's running, I would find a way to bring my mouth up close to his ear and say, so, I know you're probably not into labels, but like, what are we? And then he'd probably find that moment to put me down on the sidewalk and keep running alone. So my love life is pretty much ruined. I think so. But what gives me hope is actually the thought that in a short 8 years, I have a 2% chance of an apocalyptic coming down and saving me from the hell that is the dating app.